Okay, coming forward now, okay? So give yourself some space. Turning to the clock wall. Good Tai Chi posture, dropping those shoulders. Commencing form. Shift weight. Open. Rotate. Deep breath. Use your core. Make yourself small. Hold your ball without raising that right shoulder. Out and to the side. Part the wild horse's mane. 1. 2, and final. Half step. Spin the ball to the right, sit back on the back foot. Watch that left hand go up. Set it up correctly. White crane spreads its wings. Drop your front foot, tuck the elbow in, bisect your body. Swirl back, look back at your left hand that's higher. Set it up correctly. Ear, hand, heel, turn the hips and waist, magic of brush knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, parallel and higher, all together to brush knee, 2 and final. Okay, we'll go slowly. Sit back, sit down, as if you're doing another brush knee. Left hand comes up, right hand is fisted. When you shift your weight, the left hand comes down, the right fist comes up. You deflect with that fisted hand, bring it in to parry, and then advance to punch. Strip the opponent off of you, open your fingers, roll back and push him down. Push him up, push him out. Okay? Take the same stance to the field now, okay? Left foot forward, out to the field, okay? Okay, get a good span there. So we pushed him out. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get into a single whip. But how do we do that? We're gonna pivot first on actually put our hands down, okay, and just listen. We're gonna pivot on our back. Our back is our right. We're gonna pivot on the heel of our back. Then we're gonna pivot on the front, heel of the front. So this is the back, the right, the front is the left. We're gonna pivot and we're gonna pivot. But at the same time, because our torso, our upper body is connected, we're gonna feel the sensation of turning as soon as we pivot on our back. Then we're gonna feel another powerful sensation because the left is making us turn. Therefore, we can hook that hand. And then we can come out and step out on an L stance, okay? Because I'm not moving my feet, I want to keep my space like you. So let's try it, okay? Okay, get it comfortable, and we pushed out. Pivot on the heel of your back foot. Pivot on the heel of your front foot. As you shift your weight to form a T, you're hooking that back hand, and the left hand is at your right cheek. You're gonna come out and step out on an L stance. T stance, now we need a L stance. That's single whip. Okay, one more time. Push out. I'm gonna bring my feet in because they're a little bit too far apart. Push out. Pivot on the back heel. Pivot on the front heel. Hook the hand as you shift your weight. T stance. So the left hand is almost as if it's like this, pointing to the 12 o'clock. But when we step out on an L stance, the hand sweeps across the face and the palms go out, push out, single whip. Okay, one more time. Push out. We had just finished, I believe, grasping of the bird's tail, maybe not. Pivot on the back heel, pivot on the front heel, hook the hand, ground down, T stance. Left hand sweeps across the face, L stance, push out. Okay, so turn around now this way and look at me. So this is what we did, okay? First on a slant, okay? So this is what we did. Push out. Then we said, pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook, ground down, T stance, L stance, bow stance, okay? This is what we did this way now, okay? This is what we did. Is this gonna work? Yeah. Push out, pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook, shift weight, out on an L, palms out, okay? This is what we're, one more time. This way, okay? Pivot on the back, pivot on the front. As you get ready to shift your weight, you hook, form your T, come out across the face, push out, okay? This is how we're gonna do it this way now, okay? Push, watch first, push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, shift the weight, hook, out across the face, L, single whip. Hard? Easy? It's doable, yeah, it's doable. So you do as much as you can, and then the goofy parts, the parts that are not clear, we tackle them, but you have to build something first, okay? You can't just say, forget it, it's too hard, you know. All right, so let's do it this way again, okay? Let's get a little better so that left foot forward, push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front. You're gonna shift your weight to a T, hook the hand, left hand at a 12 o'clock, T stance. Come out on an L, follow that foot, push the hand out. One more time, push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook the hand, shift the weight, out across, L. One more time, getting better. Push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook, ground down, T, out, L, push out. Okay, let's try it this way. Push, left foot forward, push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, shift the weight, hook, T, out across the face, L, push out, single whip. Not bad. Push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook the hand, T, out across the face, L, single whip. Okay? So we're getting the big idea, and we're not worried about the finer stuff yet, okay? Push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, shift the weight, hook, T, out across the face, L, single whip. Push out. What do? Let's think it through. Pivot on the back heel, pivot on the front heel, shift your weight, T, hook, L, out. Okay, let's do it slower. Push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook, shift the weight, T, out across, push, single whip. Okay, push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook, T, out, L, single whip. Push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook, T, cross face L, single whip. Getting really good. Push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook, shift weight, T, L, out. Hey, very good. One more good one. Come on. One more, don't give up. Push out. Okay, now look at your feet. Okay, put your, yeah, fix that up. Fix that. Where's your out and to the side? Are the two, you need that space because your knees are needing to rotate and make that swing. All right, now give me a push out. This is my L stance, now a bow stance. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front, shift the weight, T stance. L stance, out across, out into the side, single whip. Push out, push out. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front. Shift the weight, hook, out L, single whip. So I ended up with my single whip in the same formation and probably the same area that I started with. Okay, so that's our goal now, okay? Where you start, you should end. So plant yourself so that you know that maybe the front foot is on a cross section and the back foot is maybe on the corner of a cross section, something like that. So you can say, well, did I end up the same way, okay? We're gonna, and you don't wanna make this span so far that you're gonna get out of Tai Chi posture, and you don't want it so cramped where you can't even work. You want a comfortable span. That's not an issue. The issue is out and to the side, okay? Out and to the side, okay? So I assume that you followed me. I assume that you look something like me, and you are comfortable. We are pushing out. Pivot on the back foot. Pivot on the front foot. Shift the weight, hook the hand, T stance. Out on an L, single whip. Yeah, it's better. Not perfect, but it's better. This is how you started with, hopefully. Now, if you say it's not, then what did you do wrong? Okay, watch now, okay? This is my good stance. Everybody can start clean and good. But what happens, pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook, shift, we're on a T. You have forgotten that the L now is out and to the side. You're thinking about what the hands will do. This is how I started. But if you're on a T and you're concentrating too hard on your hands, perhaps you're coming this way, which is not how I started. Okay? So you have to be the investigator. You have to look at yourself and say, if I start out in a good L stance and I do a single whip, I should come out the same way on an L stance when I do my single whip. All right, let's see if we can do that. Left foot forward, wherever you want to plant it. Right foot on a cross section, 45. Push out, comfortable. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front. Shift the weight, hook the hand, T stance. We're going to get that same position. Step out and to the side. Left hand pushes out, single whip. That's better, okay? If it's not, then you know how to correct it. Here's the time to correct it. Push out. Pivot on the back. Pivot on the front. Hook the hand, T stance. Out to the side, L stance, single whip. Can you hold your stance? Okay, much better. Okay, so you can see that we laid the groundwork for 10 form, and so now we have to constantly renew that because the feet alignment were taught very well, and I think you all graduated. But you know, when the movements of the upper body get complex, we kind of forget what's here if it's not really well established. So another way of looking at it is, if for any reason you're not in a correct L stance, someone were to come here or you could feel the force of someone, more than likely you don't have balance. You do not have balance. Then you say, well, I'm not sure about what she says. Then you take the correct L stance and you make sure that it is a space, and I'm going to adjust this back foot. You feel stronger. You feel very strong. And you can try that at home. Squeeze that foot in and say, this is not what I should be doing, but this is what I'm doing. But be careful. Do not say, I know what she means out there. It's not going to work. It's going to be counter to what I want, because you don't have a center anymore. You've lost your correct posture. You're not centered and grounded. So all it means is out and to the side. Make sure you have the clearance. If you just go out, you don't have that clearance. Even this is not good, although there's a space, because I can't turn the knee to make it safe and feel comfortable, okay? All right, I'm gonna move on. I want you folks to be sure and check yourself that you got this, okay? Because it's gonna plague you continually, not only in single whip, if you do not correct it, okay?
Just some comments on stability and one other thing. But if you're here, very small platform, are you stable? Probably not. And most of us have this thing called body sway. Okay? If you get out this way, more stable. Body sway is not likely to be as much. And another thing that helps you on body sway is coming down. Yeah? So, but basic. If you widen your stance, you become a lot more stable. Push me. I'm stuck. I'm literally stuck, because where do I go next? I want to go forward, I have to pull up stakes, which is not easy, because you're wide apart. Pull up stakes and then move. So Tai Chi is a dynamic activity. So it's, and one more thing. If you say, well, I want to be able to move quickly, it's much easier to do this. Somebody's chasing me, I don't want to be out here because I start wobbling and running. But if I'm like so, I'm taking off. You see, I'm just running. So it's a compromise when you're doing things, how wide to be stable, and how not so wide to be mobile. So we tell you to be out and to the side, but as Lucille says, you don't want to be out and to the side here. Hey, nobody's going to push you over. But what happens to the next step? You have to sit back and go back out this way, and you do one of these things. So you don't want to do that. So, but by the same token, you don't want to be towing the line, because then your stability is not good. So that, I don't know if that puts that to rest, but gives you some idea, the method, or the madness behind the method. Okay, this is what you're trying to do while you're learning your Tai Chi. Another thing that can help us is start to think about not only placement of footwork, and everybody's enthralled with the use of the hands, except they forget that it's the body as a whole that does Tai Chi. The hands and legs give you a hint as to where you're going to go. If I'm here, and I put my leg this way, I'm going to go this way. My hands almost want to go, okay? Or what we're trying to learn now is go from here, sit back. So we've made our legs sit back and our body sit back, but, or take it back, before we do that, here. You're going to pivot the back foot, turn, and then you're going to come this way. And the hands come this way, and what happens? What's the legs got to do? To maintain balance, we bring our leg in. At the same time, we're doing this. We're coming up this way. Like you folks know how to do cloud hands. The hand comes out from this position, twist leg, hand comes out. It's bringing everybody here. You drop down, but as you drop down, gives you the hint that we're going to go here to consolidate stability, and then we can, from here, we step out wherever we want to step, but we stay home all the time. So, and you say, well, I don't know if I can do out and to the side, so I just say, hey, that's the fastest way to town. That's not, but what you want to do is you say, I am stable. I brought myself all together, and you say, I stay here every time when I'm here, I can just do this, go out, and remember to open when you do your L form, you open your hip a little bit. That helps you. Otherwise, you're sort of tippy-toeing this way. You don't want to do that. You want to move as a whole. See what happens here? So, open, and then you just drop downhill. This hand goes here. What happens to the rest of your body? Okay, so think about making use of the beautiful handworks that you folks are at times very occupied with. What are my hands doing? Use them to help you move your body.